The answer is about 150% more.
Wow.
Yes, it is. So in this survey, which was 8,000 women that the GSS did in 2021, what happened was women who cheated had about 8.9 previous sexual partners before they were married, and women who didn't cheat, it was about 3.2. Right? It's pretty significant. Now, you guys all agreed. I've been on panels.
I got something to say. No.
Okay.
So why would you care if the person that you are currently dating has been with 10 guys before she was
because
only devoted to you? Like, it doesn't really matter. Because, like, that's her background. Like, why would you care about that? You know? Like, you shouldn't even have a concern about her past and
okay,
who she's representing.
Here's the problem. If I just showed you that women who cheat are on average have 150% more sexual partners than women who don't cheat. I have just given you statistical data showing you that you probably shouldn't be with a woman who's been with a lot of men before you get married.
Wait, hold on.
Like it's not. I'm not being misogynist. I've given you actual statistical data that shows that. Does that make sense?
What is the number now?
Go ahead and pull it up, Mo, real quick. So you can see real quick.
Remember, that was 1 year ago.
Yeah, so you can see the no's were 6,790 and the yeses were 736. And on average, the women who didn't cheat said they had about 3.8, and the women who did cheat had about 8.9. So you can see that.
So we were off by 2.
Yes. Yeah, but the point is right there, the next paragraph says the average number of male sexual partners for married women who cheated on their husbands was 2.3 times higher than those women who did not cheat. Do you guys understand? That is, you cannot, from this point on, this debate is over. The idea that body count doesn't matter, this checkmate. It's over. It's done. The data is in. Women who have more sexual partners make worse wives on average. They are more likely to cheat on you, period. You cannot say that this is a function of a misogyny or a patriarchy. There is actual solid data on this now. And this is probably the most offensive thing ever. I promise you, if there was data out there that showed as women had more sexual partners, they were better wives, you would publish that data and immediately, in a heartbeat, and you would immediately, you would be awarded the Nobel Prize in psychology without review. Immediately, you would be granted hundreds of millions of dollars of research if you found any data that showed that. But of course, they did this data back in 1995. We couldn't find any studies on this for like 25 years because nobody wanted to do this research that showed very clearly that as women have more sexual partners, they make worse wives. They are less likely to stay in a relationship. They're more likely to cheat, and they're more likely to file for divorce.
Mike, who hurt you misogynist?
Let me just state this for the record, because I know the first thing that's going to happen in the comments is, well, what about the guys? Okay, this is not about the guys. Okay, that's every time you throw this out there, it's like,
hold on, here's the thing. We're not filing for divorce. We're not filing for divorce. If 80% of divorces are filed by women, and we're talking about you're more likely to file for divorce if you've had more previous sexual partners. Well, it's like, well, what about men? If men have more previous sexual partners, are they more likely to file for divorce? We're not the ones filing for divorce. Period. So that's not the issue. That's not where it comes from. So do you guys understand the point? The issue is that this argument comes up, body count doesn't matter, it doesn't matter what I did before, then that should read out from the data. You should have maybe a small correlation. Maybe women who cheated maybe had 10% more sexual partners. Not 230% more sexual partners. That is a full-on statistical correlation. And so if you see that and you have a problem with it, again, let me ask you something. If I had a niece or if I had a sister and I told her, I was like, hey, just to let you know, there's some studies. It might have to do with your endocrine system. It might have to do with your neurochemicals. But for some reason, when you have more sexual partners, it doesn't allow you to imprint on the man that you end up wanting to marry. And so that may cause you to have a worse relationship. If I tell that to my niece, is it because I don't love her? Or is it because I do love her?
You do love her. Because you do love her.
So I'm giving good advice to my female friends and female family members because I do love them. Do you guys understand? That's not misogyny. The point of the point of the data is to show you what reality is. Do you guys understand?
I don't know what that means, but that sounds hurtful.
So here's the thing. I go on shows all the time, and I bring up the 70 to 80% divorce rate. We talk about this all the time, right? So then women say, well, you shouldn't be looking for whoever initiates the divorce. You should be looking for the reason why there's a divorce. Maybe it's still the man's fault, even though it's the woman who files for divorce. So what's a way scientifically we can control for that? How about we just remove men altogether, and we look at lesbian couples versus homosexual couples, and we look at the divorce rate. So if what women are saying is correct, and it's men to blame, what we should find is the same level of divorce, or lesbians should be divorced less. And what do we find? Anybody want to take a guess?
Oh, yeah.
No.
No. I can...
Oh, yeah, because, you were real good. Yeah.
Okay. I can take a guess.
You have no men to blame.
I can take a guess.
What do you think?
I mean, I know you have an agreement, so it's obviously going to agree with what you are saying, so it's going to be women.
Okay, how much more? How much more do you think?
I don't know, like it was 150 the other time, so maybe like 100 this time.
You're exactly right.
No.
Women file for divorce. Lesbian couples file for divorce 100% more than gay men file for divorce. So even when you don't have men to blame, you are still leaving relationships faster.